Whatever your reason for podcasting or wanting to podcast might be, if you haven't heard about Anchor yet, you need to. Because it's practically a one-stop shop for all your podcasting needs. And whether from your phone or your computer, it'll absolutely up your podcasting game. And it'll help your listeners up their game as well, by giving them the chance to be heard, by leaving voice messages for you to be able to include in the future episodes. So download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm today to get started. And if you already have a show, stop dropping loads of cash on hosting fees and start making money with Anchor's sponsorship program. So you can take something that you love to do anyway and start making a living with it. And while you're saving that cash and stuffing that money back in your pocket, save some time as well by taking total advantage of the full Anchor experience. Because on top of it all, they'll even distribute the show for you. And that may sound like a small thing, but you simply cannot get the time or energy back that it takes to repeatedly submit your RSS feed to the far reaches of the internet. So switch over or sign up today, and your show will be up on many of today's podcast platforms in what will seem like no time at all. And speaking of time, it's time to get the fun started. So away we go.
Kill me, only weakens my resolve. I was in a big hurry, had just a thimble full of luck, and not even Jesus' disciples would think to lend me a buck. And
Hubba 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 hubba, who do you trust? Hey fanboys and girls, thanks for hitting that good old download button and welcome to the Fickle Fanboy. I am the Obi-Wan to your Luke. I am RPM. And today, I think I'm gonna go ahead and knock this fucker out of the park as I toss a little something at you near and dear to my heart. Okay? Because as I said last time, before I got sidetracked with The Farce Awakens, movies today blow ass. And they have for a good long while now. In fact, some of you tallywhacking twatmongers might even say we've been force-fed the same monotonous bullshit for far too long now. So long, in fact, that some of you turd burglars might not even remember what it was like to live without the stench of things like Theodore Rex. And I wish I could tell you that this was all something new. But, no. This has been the sad state of affairs for at least the last decade or so, if not a whole hell of a lot longer than that. Which I gotta say, that's pretty damn likely. I mean, hell, in the time that passed between 2005 and 2010, only about 43% of movies were actually developed by original fucknut ideas. More than half the movies we saw in that time frame were either rehashes or ripped from some other source material without so much as an original thought between the lines. And as pathetic as that is, it's actually gotten worse since. And that's just I don't even know what to do with that. And here's the kicker. You're gonna love this one. 'Cause out of that 43%, most of those were indie films that most of us probably never even saw. Hell, we probably didn't even know they existed. No. The sad fact of the matter is that we're sinking hard and fast into a sea of reboots, remakes, and sequels. And for every gem out there, there's at least, hell, let's just call it a cool dozen. Yeah, that sounds about right. Let's just say there are at least a good dozen special effects nutfests that, for better or worse, should be labeled with
possible side effects, depression, headache, and anal leakage.
Listed right up there out in the open. Hell, probably right before things like brought to you by Disney. I mean, I'm talking about shit that makes Abe Lincoln Vampire Hunter and John Carter seem absolutely positively Oscar-worthy. Ouch. I know, right? What are you gonna do? And don't get me wrong. I know that for most of you twat waffles, the fact that we've let it go this far is hardly fucking news. In any way, shape, or form. At all. Or at least it shouldn't be. I mean, after all, most of you feckless dingleberries are the ones buying the tickets to these floaters, instead of plunging them deep into the crapper where they belong. And now, because most of you won't do your jobs as decent human beings, here we fucking are. Living in a world where one of the greatest actors of all time stars in The League of Unextraordinary Gentlemen. And we got no one to blame but ourselves. So yay. 'Cause don't get it twisted, folks. The radiantly colored spandex is on our hands. And now we've done gone and fucked ourselves and everybody around us. All because we can't seem to have a fucking thought and just keep it to ourselves.
That's not true. You want to know what I think?
Fuck no. Piss off. Because the moment we have a brain fart, we have to share it with everybody, it seems. You know? I mean, we gotta post it everywhere. If only just because.
Holy shit. That's a good idea.
But guess what? It's not. And the moment we realize that, maybe we can go ahead and move on and salvage what little stability and sanity we've got left. Which I know ain't much, but still. 'Cause clearly we've gone and lost our fucking collective marbles. I mean, are we really all that jaded And all that egotistical? That we're convinced everything that passes through our brains is the absolute shit?
Yep, pretty much.
I mean, I know I am, but come on. Cause it's not. It's not the absolute shit. It's just shit. I mean, fuck. Why must it be so damn hard to be a fanboy in this day and age? I mean, shit, can't we all just take a moment and calm down? Because absolute power corrupts absolutely. And it's been corrupting us ever since we realized they were listening. And the sad shit about that is the fact that it's all for naught. Because yeah, they're listening, but they don't give a shit. I mean, if they did, do you really think we would have had to sat through The Spirit? They don't care about why a movie makes money. They just care that it does. I mean, if enough people told them to make a movie that was simply 2 hours of dogs humping on the side of the road, they'd make it. And why? Because it would make them money. I mean, at one time or another, even a Disney CEO came clean and told us what we should have known all along. I mean, he flat out said, to make money is our only objective. Let that soak in a little bit, why don't you? I mean, not to do right by the fans, not to create any sort of cinematic piece of art, but to make money. And unlike most of you assholes, I don't actually blame him for trying to make a quick buck. 'Cause that's all they did. Enough said. 'Cause when you boil it down far enough, that's all they are. A business. And it's not Whedon or any of those that have ever been a part of the business that are to blame. It's us. It's not them that are responsible for the gobbledygook out there. I mean, sure, they have their part to play in it, and the bulk of the accountability may end with them, considering moves like Batfleck and Dungeons and Dragons the movie. But it starts with us. I mean, if we're even kind of honest with ourselves for once, we'd see it clear as day. It's us and us alone who are almost directly at fault for practically every last bit of the tedious malarkey we've been put through for all these years. It's we who have put that undeserved, unreserved faith in these individuals for far too long. And it's time at long last to just admit, even if only to ourselves, that even outside of the price of admission, we're largely to blame for the creation of every butt brownie that has ever and will ever end in the decimation of our dreams. And if you don't believe me, all you have to do is look no farther than The Phantom. Because at one time, we thought that shit was a good idea. And look what the fuck happened there.
Aw, dang.
I know, Billy. And I'm sorry. But it's true, man. But anyway, every reprehensible, shit-tastic clusterfuck that we've endured up to this point is our fucking fault. And it's time we face up to that. It's time we realize that we've got great influence when it comes down to how our movies are shaped and developed. Because we've got the touch. We've got the power. And that power has quickly and obviously gone straight to our fucking heads. Because to my dismay, whether we're aware of that power or not, we use it, abuse it, and throw it away every damn time. I mean, shit. We've got to hurry up and stop this shit, guys. Before it's too late. We've got to stop the mistreatment of such power right now. Before things go too far and we're dealing with Meteor Man 2. I mean, we're the most obsessive lot of utterly uncompromising, relentlessly hypocritical, and remarkably illogical bleeding heart zealots to have ever stood upright in a line for tickets to a Batman movie. And what's more, we're total assholes to boot. Because we could use our power for good, but we just don't. I mean, we try, but for some reason, we always seem to screw the pooch on that one. And we just don't seem to give a shit, you know? I mean, we're a stone's throw away from Outlander 2, and we just don't give a shit. Hey now, Junior. Stop that shit. Fuck you, old man. Watch your ass or Zardoz will be next. But yeah, I mean, we just don't give a shit. And why don't we give a shit? Because they keep listening to us. No matter what we're posting. So much so that we all seem foolishly convinced of the ill-conceived notion that we know best. That we could have ever known best. That we, armed with our so-called expertise, know exactly what the masses want. And how best to bring these motherfuckers to life. And the mere fact that we have any sort of control whatsoever over which way that geeky little pendulum swings and sways? Well, shit, I don't know about you, but it scares the piss out of me. 'Cause no matter what goes down, there seems to be one teensy little problem. 'Cause you know what? Nobody has it figured out. Nobody has it all figured out. And we can't seem to get that through our thick little skulls. 'Cause nobody has it all figured out. And nobody ever will. None of us. 'Cause none of us are the experts that we've asserted ourselves to be when it comes down to a certain genre or canon. I mean, you've read Action Comics number 1 120 times? Good for you. Get a life. Doesn't matter. Oh, you say you've seen every Batman movie and TV appearance since the 1950s? Really? Guess what? Doesn't fucking matter. And the sooner we realize that shit, the better. 'Cause that shit is cold hard fact. So no. None of us are, nor will we ever be, the so-called authorities we claim to be on anything. And whatever you have to say to the contrary is just like your opinion, man. Which actually, you know something? These cool ideas that we're just so damn convinced everyone wants to see? Guess what?
What?
They're also just our fucking opinions. And that's all. But you see, the main problem here, boys and girls, is that these wet farts that we like to call original ideas, we have a lot of them. And no matter what falsehoods we've repeatedly told ourselves, these worthless cerebral fudge monkeys are barely either ideas or original. I mean, hell, they're almost never even constructed on such silly shit as logic, or the source material we claim to be so wonderfully educated on and purport to love so damn much. In fact, more often than not, these foul-smelling messes and missteps are almost always grounded in nothing more than the insanely irrational wants and wishes of those that have both smelt and dealt these lumpy farts. That are also, in their own little way, sort of moist, actually.
Huh.
But you see, there's a reason for that. Because no one of us can ever really know what everybody wants. It just can't happen. No matter how loudly we declare otherwise. So you know what we do to cope with that little fact? Drink.
Ooh, I know this one. We jerk off to anime porn.
Oh, yeah. I guess that's all true. I mean, at least for you, because, I got a life. But yeah, yeah. But other than that, the other shit that we do is we fucking guess. That's all we do. We flip a coin, or we roll some D&D dice, or I don't know. But we fucking guess. And it's because of that. because of that insane and often foolish optimism that accompanies our massive fucking ego. That not many years ago, as we clicked away ranting and revolting against trivial rumors that made us long for the secret of the ooze, that film studio executives actually began to take note and practically eavesdrop on our raving fucking lunacy. They began fundamentally doing what very few had ever done before. They began paying attention as we mentally collapsed and lashed out against everything possible, against the audacity of any given cinematic abomination, as we just droned on, and then probably on some more about stupid shit like bat nips. And it was then and there that, just like Scrooge McDuck, they began to see dollar signs in front of their eyes. And our uphill battle truly began. But we didn't give a shit. We didn't care. Because someone was finally fucking listening to us. And in time, the movies they began to put out truly began to reflect what they'd heard. And what we really actually wanted. Which in hindsight is kind of fucking terrifying, you know? I mean, really consider what that means, okay? It means we exposed ourselves to the likes of things like barbed wire, Spider-Man 3, Judge Dredd. And I'm talking about the Ayo one, not the other one. I mean, why? What? How the fuck? I mean, listen. I think the main moral there is that if you're ever lucky enough to have the ear of those in power at any time in your life, have something insightful to say. You know? Because the question now, in the long run, has actually become, should they listen? Should they ever have listened? Should they listen at all, even slightly, going forward? Is that a truly good idea for business? Hell, for humanity? Should they waste their time and their money listening to one more second? I can tell you the answer. No. No, they shouldn't. I mean, yeah, it was fun while it lasted, but no. Because what have all those demanding cries brought us until now? Exactly. So no. I just don't know. I mean, don't get me wrong. I know that I too was once one of those who sought nothing more than for them to stay true to anything and everything any of these characters ever represented. But sometimes, as I stated in that last episode, I can't help but wonder if the fight's even worth it anymore. You know? I mean, sure. Originally, we did what we did while absent-mindedly and arrogantly assuming that just 'cause some were willing to listen, that it meant that Hollywood actually gave a crap. And that they'd do right by us. Handling it all very delicately. But fuck were we wrong. Because it wasn't long before they began to view us as little more than a sizable cluster of cash cows whose allegiance could forever be exploited. And they went about fucking exploiting it. And for all that misplaced trust and faith, what have they given us? I mean, fast forward a few years and what do we have? A bright green flying Ryan Reynolds? I mean, this is why we can't have nice things. Because of fuckery like that. You know? Because we can't help but bust our nut over and over about these bastards. And then, after these nuggets are finally put out, most of them end up treating us like we're damn morons. And all things considered, that doesn't seem to be too far off from the truth, actually. Because every chance we get, when we finally take that shot, we end up missing the mark horribly. And leading them and us astray in the process. But I mean, even if they were ever lucky enough to hit that bullseye, even just once, it's still never going to be enough. You know? And as always, I know it, you know it, and hell, they know it. Only difference is they don't give a shit. They never did. But they knew we cared. And they knew we cared deeply. And they knew if they gave us just enough rope, that we had the confidence that they'd eventually get it right. And if they did, they were in like Finn and they knew it. But here we are, and we're still fucking waiting for them to get it right. And even if they did miraculously come close to doing any of it justice at all, it would still never be enough for us. And it never will be. Because we need to face the truth. There are just some characters, some story arcs out there that just don't belong up there on that big screen. Okay? So in the end, we can yell as loud as we want. And they may listen, and they may try. But in the end, we're always going to be left to gripe and moan and drink until we forget what we just saw. I mean, sure, I'll concede that there were a few movies scattered within that Phase 1 stint of Marvel's that had a great deal of visual effects, that most of which blew the pants clear off my body. But that sure as hell doesn't stop me from grumbling about how the rest of it fucking sucked. About how Phase 1 and even up to this point, Phase 2 has done nothing but left me with depression and a severe case of mud butt. Because you see, none of us will ever be satisfied and content. I mean, sure, some of us might be a little happier than the rest. But that's only because we got what we want. But guess what? If we got what we want, someone else was left high and dry. And when it comes time for them to get what they want, we're gonna be left high and dry. It's just that fucking simple. There will always be something missing for one of us. For most of us. There will always be slip-ups. And it's because of that we're always gonna be left wanting. Whether that be something more,
More explosions.
something bigger,
Bigger tits.
something faster.
I don't know. You got the tits, the explosions already. Faster cars? Yeah, let's go with that.
Or just something different. I mean, for the life of me, I don't get it sometimes. I don't get you sometimes. I mean, I know we get bored. And when we get bored, most of us can't help but figure, why not? Why not see what happens when we take the new toys out of the box? You know? What could it hurt? But we have to resist that temptation. I love The Flash. But anything outside of his botched television run in the 90s, or even this new and probably soon to be botched little run that Snyder's putting together, too much of a good thing is just too damned much. Plain and fucking simple.
Who said who the what now?
Bite me, Barry. I mean, even with today's effects, the origin stories alone for most of these fuckers that we demand to see in theaters are right up there with Man-Eater Lad, in that they're all completely fucking snoozers. So please let us not go there, okay? I mean, just because some of you might want to see it doesn't mean the rest of us need to be subjected to it. Alright? Because me thinks it's time to give up the dream. And I've only come to that conclusion because, frankly, at this point, I figure it has to beat getting up in arms about every little tweak to every little irrelevant facet of what we perceive as just to be
Just the way it was supposed to fucking happen.
alright. And it took me a long time to get there, but once I saw it, my eyes were open. Because one of two things is destined to happen sooner rather than later if we linger on this path any fucking longer. Either they're bound to realize that we're all certifiably out of our fucking minds.
Not to mention good ideas.
Quiet, Banner. How'd you get in anyway? And they'll stop listening altogether?
Which they probably should have a long time ago.
What the hell did I just say, Pim? Or we'll soon become so damn power hungry now that we realize how much power we have. And we'll begin to spout even more ludicrous prattle than we already fucking do. And we'll inescapably end up being held justly responsible for one of the worst movies in damned history. So the question I'm forced to ask is, how far can we justifiably go if Hollywood does nothing in the future but make movies catering to us and what we tell them we want? How far can they possibly go? I mean, shit. What they need to do, and what they should have been doing long ago, is kicking us to the curb, at least just slightly, and making movies that, here's an idea, place more prominence on cinematic distinctiveness over,
Wow, that looks cool.
I mean, give us something with real meat to it. Not just a pic based on Plastic Man, because
That would look pretty awesome.
And remember, while the Man of Steel and the Dark Knight will endlessly remain to be seen as sure things, no matter how many times they bomb, or how gravely they do so, they are more the exception than the rule. And that's just a way of life.
But what if Soups crossed paths with Yango the Super Monkey?
Well, I don't see that happening. Then, yeah, I guess you're right. Then the Man of Steel would probably die a slow and painful death in the box office and go into hiding. We probably wouldn't see him for a good long while, actually. I mean, so you got me there. But I mean, what are the chances of that happening? No, never mind. Let's not go down that road, because this is exactly the kind of thinking that gets us into this mess. It's exactly those preposterous ideas that fucked us over in the first place. It's that kind of shit that got us to where we are. And it's because of where we are that I feel it must be reiterated. And actually, no. No. I think I got one better. 'Cause hell, fuck that. Someone should shout the shit from the rooftops. Yeah. Sorry. I'm okay. I'm fine. But the point is that we've got to make ourselves heard. I mean, I don't know if we can take it much longer. I mean, I know I can't, but I mean, we shouldn't have to. But something needs to be done. And don't even one of you lummox-brained spunk bubbles act like you didn't know it. And now, before I'm swamped with a shitstorm of angry letters and emails from various butt plugs with nothing better to do than complain online or listen to someone else complain online, please keep in mind that I'm not talking about any sort of physical uprising. Okay?
That was close.
I mean, at least not one that would cause the finger of blame to be pointed my way. Or one that would result in one of you bass-brained bastards enduring some of the same kind of physicality that I've spent a lifetime avoiding. I mean, no. I wouldn't, I couldn't do that to you. No matter how much fun it would be for me. Cause Lord knows I'm not gonna do a damn thing, so, I mean, I figure why should you? But, somebody's gotta do something. They've gotta do something, and frankly, they've gotta do it fast. And why? Shit, I'll tell you why. 'Cause frankly, friends, Romans, countrymen, hear me now. For I speak of dark and miserable times. I speak of those things that go bump in the night. Mostly on Friday nights, Friday afternoons even, if you're looking to save a little bit of money. But still, I speak of those things that go bump in the night, usually in the summertime. I speak of those things that blacken the heart and tear at the lungs, those things that chew on our very souls. And lest you wonder, I'm talking about those things so horrible, we could have easily prevented them if we'd just shown our standards, or even that we have standards. I I speak of those movies that slowly draw you in with a siren's seductive coo, only to send you rat fucks home cross-eyed and vomiting with an alarming amount of bleeding and discomfort radiating from your nether region as you cry out to the gods, for the love of Hansel and Gretel, why? I speak of stupid plots, cheesy jokes, and yes, I speak of the fact that CGI hasn't produced an action sequence that wasn't at least a little bit preposterous in years. I'm talking about human beings repeatedly underestimating our intelligence and investing millions with the assumption that we're little more than full-blown morons. Doing so all while hoping that we absent-mindedly gobble up whatever sludge they dish out in the same desperate fashion that we have for so many years. So, yeah. And I mean, sure, I could just go full steam ahead into the wall and tear into Michael Bay for a little bit, but I mean, come on. Where's the fun in that? Actually, that might be a little fun. Yeah, it would. Oh, sorry. But if we don't do something soon, hell, it'll be all over but the credits. So no. Just no. We gotta act, and we gotta act now. I mean, we gotta stand up.
Son of a bitch.
Whoa. No, wait. I didn't actually mean stand up. Oh, shit. Sit. Sit the hell down and catch your breath, you crazy bastard. Damn, I'm actually tired for you, you know? I mean, you good? Oh, okay. Just don't do that shit again, alright? I mean, well, anyway. What I meant is that we have to stand up for ourselves, you know? Get mad. Let it show. Stand on that proverbial desk and say, "Captain, my cat." Ooh, wait. That might be, yeah, that might be a little too soon. But you've got to say, "Listen up, you fudge-faced, ass-eating dickheads. I'm a person. A fat, lazy, sweatpants-wearing, junior mint-loving person. And I have standards, you know? And while those standards may be low, they're still there, damn it all. Okay? Do I have to do everything for you? Find an outlet and scream that shit now. And, okay. That whole junior mint loving, sweatpants wearing thing didn't come out quite as nicely or kind hearted as I may have hoped for, or meant. But really? The message is still the same no matter how you slice it.
you have to let your distaste be known and shown. Because you can't just dismiss me in hopes that, frankly, the future might be better. Because doing so can and almost certainly will result in horrors the likes of which we've never even seen before. I mean, I'm talking a Mac and Me reboot here, people. Maybe even Battlefield Earth 2. Yeah, I said it. I mean, damn it. And fortunately for us, as luck would have it, none of that shit's even in the works right now. But if we're not careful, that shit'll change. Quickly. Hell, some of that shit might come about sooner rather than later if we don't take swift fucking action. And I'm talking right damn now. And sure. You cheese dicks may think me insane. And you're probably right on levels that I'm not even going to get into right now. And hell, you may even want to try and dismiss me as being one hell of an unreasonable SOB. And you'll probably find you're right on that too. But regardless of that shit, just at least take a second to just consider the ramifications of ignoring me or my message. Okay, Captain Cupcake? I mean, consider what's to come if I'm right on any or all of it. And for the love of all things good and fucking holy, act. Okay? Because for if you do, all hope might not be lost forever. I mean, there have got to be some good ideas lingering out there. I mean, they gotta have something. I mean, even just statistically speaking. But right now, it just seems that Hollywood's gotten as lazy as the rest of us. And speaking from personal experience, that ain't good. 'Cause it's all our fault. And in allowing them to do this shit, we've got to the point at hand. And now, even when the "you're so dumb you'll watch anything" Hollywood hawks choose to swoop down and breathe new life into a franchise that could almost certainly pull off being profitable and intelligent at the same time, what do? I'll tell you. They do nothing. I mean, they do nothing but take what once was a good idea, probably, and then they bumble and fumble and fuck it all up while playing with themselves. Probably with each other. And they end up with a product so regrettable that it makes me weep openly. I mean, they leave the good name of what we all held dear as children. And they leave it face down in the muck and the mire, knocking on death's door as they gasp for breath while laying next to their horrid predecessors. They leave the Transformers and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles to fade slowly into purgatory without so much as an afterthought, as they watch the Muppets bleed out next to them until Fozzie Bear looks like something out of Meet the Feebles. I mean, we can't let them do this. Not again. We can't let them win. And we sure as hell shouldn't give them another dime. 'Cause no good can come of it. And the very second we forfeit our $8.50 and sit down with our stale jujubes, we've officially done our part in allowing just that kind of shit. So hopefully one of you sons of bitches will do something about this shit. 'Cause I'm sure as hell too lazy. You know? One of you comic book reading smegheads with way too much free time to ever even chance that they actually think for themselves. One of you should hurry your ass up. Alright, you slack-jawed schnooks? 'Cause we're on borrowed time here, folks. And hopefully it'll just take the one of you. And I mean, if by some chance it takes more than that, well then,
Hey, asshole. Tell a friend.
there, taken care of. Now there's two of them. But either way, hopefully you'll listen to one of the 8 fuckers who downloaded the son of a bitch. And I'm only saying 8 because frankly, I'm guessing that 7 will probably click the download button on accident. You know, I mean, whether it be computer problems, mouse problems, or, I don't know, hell, maybe you're just online drunk. That's how I usually surf the net. But regardless of all that, if anyone's gotten anything out of anything I've had to say today, then hopefully that'll help, you know? And if not, we're just doomed to repeat ourselves over and over and over. In which case, I'm done. You know, I'm through. You can find me on Twitter at FickleFanboyRPM. And otherwise, have a nice day. You know? In which case,
I'm out of here.
so thank you, fuck you, bye.
Get on out of here.